Testing 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 2 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2. It's been a pretty rough 24 hours for the good people of Coventry as the Sky Blues of Coventry City were officially relegated yesterday after a 1-1 draw at home to Charlton. Myself, along with thousands of loyal Coventry City fans today, are absolutely gutted. So it is down to another Coventry team from the red and green side of the city to cheer us up. Welcome to another edition of Coventry United Matchday on this Easter Saturday. We come to you live from the beaches in beautiful Wolverhampton as we get set for Tividale versus Coventry United in the Midland League Premier Division. A rather heartbroken Liam Cook here, talking to you for Coventry United Matchday. Your reporter, your host, your commentator, your cameraman, your editor. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies here, and it is my honour once again to bring you live coverage of this match, as it always is. You know what, if I hadn't have been here today, I probably would have been at home with a bottle of vodka, sitting in my room, curling into a ball in a random corner, and just be singing the Sky Blues songs myself, rather drunkenly, to be honest with you. But you know what, I'm here at the beaches, ready for what I'm sure is going to be an absolutely wonderful afternoon of football, and by God, do we need it after a horrible, horrible day for local sport yesterday. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the red and greens of Coventry United can put a smile back on the face of Coventry sports fans. We have got 18 minutes to go until kick-off here at the beaches, the home of Tividale, who sadly have already been relegated from the Midland League Premier Division. They will not be playing United again next season, and who knows, this could be the one and only time that United visit this place, as the Red and Greens are hoping to mount a serious title challenge next season. So let's make the most of it while we still can. A pretty convincing victory against the Dale last time out at Spinks Drive a few months ago, a 5-1 victory for Coventry United with 5 different scorers, 3 of whom are starting today. Talking of that, we're going to get into the team news right after we say a massive thank you to the official Coventry United Matchday sponsors, Graham the Plumbers Merchant, operating across the Midlands, supplying all of your bathroom heating and plumbing needs. So go and check out grahamplumbersmerchant.co.uk. That's grahamplumbersmerchant.co.uk for your nearest store location and the latest special offers. Now, a little bit of team news before we go into the starting 11. Quite a few absentees from the squad today. Courtney Cameron is out. He's got a thigh injury. Kevin Thornton, of course, went off against St Andrews due to an Achilles problem. Hopefully he should be back on Monday, possibly next week. Jimmy Holton has injured his knee. Chris Cox is suspended. He will be out until the final game of the season at Boldmere in just 2 weeks' time. And Joe Connor is not going to be appearing for United for some while because he has got rather strict work commitments. So Joe Connor is not going to be starting for United today. Who is starting today, however, is Scott Hammond, the young Coventry United wing player, the left wing player, left back. He's a very talented player from the under-21s. He is making his first league start for Coventry United. He's made a few cup appearances for the Red and Greens, and he's also been a regular on the bench in the last month or so. So he's back in the team today. He's starting for the first time. And also in the squad today, Jean de Corey, who is back after a rather lengthy suspension. So he is on a free-man bench. So here is the Coventry United starting lineup today. Starting in goal, number 1, Rich Morris. Number 2, Pierre Mudim. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Gift Musa. 5, Lewis Ison. 6, Jamie Coleman. 7, Josh O'Grady. And then 8, number 8, Tommy Glasgow. And number 9, Muzzy and Duna. 10, Rob Prinzel. And 11, Scott Hammond. And on the bench for the Red and Greens, number 12, Jean de Corey. 13, Jack Tregartha. And number 14, Ryan McQuenjay. So McQuenjay is coming to us from the under-21s, as is Tregartha, who actually started in a 2-0 victory over Bromsgrove just this afternoon. So he is on the bench if he's needed, but United deciding not to start him today because of his commitments with the under-21s. We're being told that Rich Morris isn't at 100%. He tore some tendons and ligaments in his thumb a couple of weeks ago, which meant that Joe Connor had to take over for the last 2 games. Sadly, the last one didn't exactly work out very well for young Joe. But Rich is back in the team rather earlier than expected. On a sort of sour note, we're being told that Kai Williams will not be returning to the Coventry United first team for the rest of the season. I spoke to Luke Morton, the Coventry United assistant manager, earlier on today. He told me that the cast on Kai's broken foot only came off on Thursday, and there's still a long way to go before Kai is going to be fit enough to play football. So we're not going to be seeing Kai until the pre-season friendlies in July. But of course, we wish Kai the very best in his recovery. Let's go into the starting lineup now for our host, Tividale. Starting for the Dale today, number 1, Luke Kriskinians. Number 2, Tom Herdman. 3, Dara Bustin. 4, Carl Gardner. 5, Freddie Watts. 6, Craig Stevens. 7, Nathan Jones. Number 8, Liam Smith. Number 9, Dan Smith. Not sure if there's any relation there. Number 10, Harvey Walker. And number 11, Elliot Hartley. And on the bench for the Dale, number 12, Shane Granger. 14, Jake Brigdale. 15, Matt Preston. 16, Chris Hill. And number 17, Lewis Hanley. As we see the players of Coventry United and Tividale making their way off the pitch and into the dressing rooms as they get set for today's match. A little bit of info for you on Tividale. Of course, we already told you that they have already been relegated. They will not be playing in the Premier Division next season. We're not sure which division they're going to be playing in because there are 3 separate divisions that feed the Premier Division. Of course, the Midland League Division 1 is the one that Coventry United came up from last season. Which frankly they won't be returning to. By the way, Bromsgrove could well be coming up to the Premier Division very soon. So, of course, best of luck to Bromsgrove in their title push. But Tividale will not be joining Bromsgrove and Coventry United in the Premier Division next season. If Tividale concede just the 1 goal today, it will take their goals against record to 100 for the league season in just their 39th match. That is pretty darn bad. I mean, that's like 2.1 goals per game average conceded this season for Tividale. So 1 goal today will be enough to take their goals against ratio into triple figures. And with the way that Coventry United are scoring, I really wouldn't put it against them. Tividale are actually the joint lowest scorers in the league. Along with AFC Wolfrunians, Tividale have scored just 44 goals in the league this season. And also, seeing as Coventry United needs to get back on track after a few disappointing results recently, really is the perfect place to come because the Dale are without a win in the last 3 months. It was actually 3 months yesterday was the last win that Dale got. Their latest league triumph came away at Walsall Wood on the 14th of January with Chris Bladen scoring twice. Chris not in the team today. Dan Smith is Tividale's top scorer. He is starting up front. He's got 12 goals in 31 appearances for the Dale. And Luke Kriskinians, the Dale goalkeeper, leads the way with appearances for Tividale with 40 starts in all competitions this season. So those are just a couple of nuggets of information on our host today. And I really have got a strong feeling that this is going to be a fantastic game. As I said, the last meeting between these two sides was a complete goal fest. It was all the way back in November. It's actually 5 months ago today because it was on the 15th of November 2016. It's weird that, isn't it? Exactly 5 months. Scoring on that day, all the goals actually, all but 1 goals came in the second half. United led 1-0 heading into the break thanks to a Rob Prinzel free kick. Then an equaliser came from Craig Stevens. I believe he is in the team today. But then the floodgates, I should say, well and truly opened as Chris Cox, Simeon Townsend, Pierre Moodim and Josh O'Grady hit 1 each and made it 5-1 to Coventry United. We are going to go into the highlights of Coventry United's last game very, very shortly because unfortunately there was a little bit of an error by Made in Birmingham TV on Thursday. As you know, we always send our highlights through to Jumpers for Goalposts on Made in Birmingham. They are always happy to have a look and put our highlights on television. Sadly, it didn't exactly work out this week. It was probably all the better for Joe Connor, actually, because he had a pretty bad game. For some reason, Maiden Birmingham played the highlights of the Wolverhamptonians game a few days earlier, which had already been played, so a little bit disappointing there. In fact, they actually had quite a bad day on Maiden Birmingham that day. But you know what? We are going to play them for you here on Coventry United Matchday. So anyone who did miss the game last week against St Andrews, you are going to be hearing the highlights again very shortly. As we have got 9 minutes to go until kick-off. We have got just enough time to get through it. One final score to bring you from the Premier League, and it's a pretty sizable one in terms of the title race. The gap at the top of the Premier League table has now been cut to 4 points after a 4-0 win for Tottenham Hotspur and a comeback goal for Harry Kane. Mr Dembele opened the scoring for Spurs against Bournemouth in the 60th minute. 3 minutes later it was 2-0 thanks to Hun Sung Min. Just after half-time, Harry Kane got one, and then in added time, Vincent Janssen was able to get himself on the score sheet. So a pretty good day for Tottenham Hotspur as they aim to put the pressure on league leaders Chelsea, who have got Manchester United. I believe that's tomorrow, that game. So we are getting set for, I'm sure, is going to be a fantastic game here at the Beaches, home of Tividale. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Cov Matchday for all the latest news from the club and from the show. And you can also hit the like button below this video if you are enjoying the coverage. Leave a comment, subscribe to Coventry United Matchday on YouTube for more exclusive football content as well. Every follow that we get really does help us out. So if you can follow us, please make sure you do so. As we get set to bring you the highlights of the St Andrews game, as they're just coming up now. The laptop being a little bit slow today, but luckily I think we have just about got it up for you. Yes, we racing up and down, taking course from different directions. And this one is put away! Of Coventry United against St Andrews. We'll try and get those back for you in a second. For some reason, the laptop isn't quite working as hoped. Luckily, we have got the in fact, yes, we have got them up now, so hopefully this will be the real deal, as Coventry United lost 4-2 against St Andrews. Got just enough time to get these highlights in before kick-off as the fans make their way into the ground. But here we go. Here are the highlights now of Coventry United against St Andrews. Work, please work.
I'll give it to Mason Hunt. He's certainly got some more exercise over the past couple of minutes. He's been racing up and down, taking course from different directions. And this one is put away! Cox, his final match before a 3-game suspension will keep him out until the final day of the campaign. Tapped on by the shoulder of Pierre Moudim. He's got O'Grady in front. Cox wants it in the area. Long ball towards Chris Cox, over the head of Cox, but it'll come to Jimmy Holton on the edge of the area. Holton strike! Oh, what a turnaround! What a turnaround! 2 goals in a minute! And Jimmy Holton, with a strike low and hard from the edge of the penalty area, finds the net. An incredible 60 seconds for Coventry United. It's going to be Putman, the left back, to strike this one towards Joe Connor's net. It's a good one, and it's squeezed through. Well, you have to put the blame solely at Joe Connor's door there. Should have been an easy gather, but it slips past Connor. Say nothing away from Putman, it was a good delivery, but it shouldn't have caused Connor an issue. It should have been a simple save. And the last big opportunity of the half is capitalised on by St Andrews. Coventry United 2, St Andrews 2. What a first half. Putman, easy gather. What it should have been. It's in. Rob Morgan puts it into an empty net. Another clanger from Joe Connor. What on earth is happening here? Once again, it's a Putman free kick causing the damage. It should have been an easy catch to his right hand side, but Connor fumbled it and went straight into the path of Rob Morgan. Putman puts it in, head towards goal, and once again a good save by Connor, but he couldn't stop the follow-up attempt. Well, what a way to introduce yourself.
Well, there you go. Those are the highlights of Coventry United against St Andrews, and the players are now on the pitch as we get set for Coventry United against Tividale right here at the Beaches. Coventry United in their changed white strip with green socks. Tividale in their home strip of yellow and blue. So here are the starting lineups once again for Coventry United and for Tividale. Starting for United, number 1, Rich Morris. 2, Pierre Mudim. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Gift Musa. 5, Lewis Ison. 6, Jamie Coleman. 7, Josh O'Grady. 8, Tommy Glasgow. 9, Muzzy Nduna. 10, Rob Prinzel. And number 11, Scott Hammond. And I can tell you today's captain, in the absence of Chris Cox, is Jamie Coleman. So a big moment for Kohler today. Starting to get centre back with the captain's armband. And for for Tividale, I should say, number 1, Luke Kriskinians. 2, Tom Herdman. 3, Dara Bustin. 4, Carl Gardner. 5, Freddie Watts. 6, Craig Stevens. 7, Nathan Jones. 8, Liam Smith. 9, Dan Smith. 10, Harvey Walker. And 11, Elliot Hartley. Today's show, as always, sponsored by Graham the Plumbers Merchant, operating across the middle and plumbing needs. So again, go and check out grahamplumbersmerchant.co.uk for store locations and the latest special offers. As we get set for live coverage of this match between Tividale and Coventry United. Neither side with anything to play for really, except for pride and points. Tividale already down, Coventry United going nowhere. We are underway, and the ball is immediately out for a Coventry United throw on the far side after an attempted long ball from the Dale midfielder. It's going to be Ben Valance to take the throw, looking for an option. Up line to Josh O'Grady, back in the starting lineup today. Mudim tries to trick his way past Elliot Hartley. Luckily, Hartley overran the ball. Here's Scott Hammond. Surrounded by Tividale players and muscled out. Craig Stevens plays it back to the goalkeeper, Luke Kriskinians. Has played more games than anyone for Tividale this season, with 40 in all competitions. Musa picks up the ball in the midfield. Now O'Grady playing on the left wing today. Rob Prinzel, who seems to be playing it in a attacking midfield role, plays it back into defence with Lewis Ison. Ison strides forward across to Rob Prinzel, who's faded back into defence now. Plays a 1-2 with Jamie Coleman. A rather slanted pitch here at the Beaches. It's going upwards towards the far side of the ground. Ison, long ball forward, looking for Muzzy Nduna, starting up front. Good control from Nduna. Brings it down onto the right with Pierre Mudim. Musa ducks and dives out of the way of Liam Smith. Down line to Scott Hammond. Mudim will keep it on the right wing. Can he get the cross in? No, he can't. But out to play off Hartley. And it will be a Coventry United corner early on. Chance to win 90 seconds for the Red and Greens to open the scoring. Remember, just one goal will take Tividale's goals conceded ratio over 100 goals. But the corner comes to nothing. It's headed away easily. Glasgow. Smith able to muscle him out. Musa sprints onto the loose ball and finds Pierre Mudim on the right-hand side. Mudim tries the through ball to Scott Hammond. Hammond lets it run, but it doesn't run past Dara Bustin, and it goes out for a Coventry United throw off the leg of the left-back. Promising start for Coventry United so far. United in P7 at the moment. Not going to be going up this season. They're going to be hoping to put on a real title push next season. Tividale, of course, already down. They are bottom of the league, the lowest scorers in the division, level with AFC Wolfrunians. Conceded more goals than anyone else, fewest wins of anyone else as well. Really has been a bad season for Tividale. Throw taken. Mudim plays a 1-2 with Rob Prinzel. Gets out of 2 Dale challenges and keeps on going. Gets the ball back from Glasgow towards the far post, towards Josh O'Grady. It's gone over the head of the winger, and it's picked up by his opposite, number 7, Nathan Jones. Herdman, back to Jones. Jones strides down the right-hand side, tries to play a 1-2. Valance will pick it up. Bobbles around in the midfield. Now it's come to Muzzy and Duna. O'Grady, through ball down the left-hand side. And the appeals from the Tividale players. It's gone out of bounds and the referee agrees. And it will be a Dale throw. Live coverage of this game here on Coventry United Matchday with Liam Cook. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at CovMatchday. Let us know your thoughts on the action. You also get in touch with us regarding our man of the match in the second half. More info on that coming up later. Here's Rich Morris now for Coventry United, and already he's feeling that right hand which he injured a couple of weeks ago. He damaged ligaments in his right thumb. He was expected to be out for 3 weeks, but Joe Connor is not available today, so he's been drafted back into the team. Jack Tregartha was going to start, but he was also playing for the under-21s today. And they still have an opportunity to win the league, so it was a very important game for them. But we do expect that Tregartha will be involved in some capacity on Monday in United's final game at Spinks Drive as the home team against Loughborough. Grady dispossessed as Tividale stride down the right hand side, ball put forward towards Dan Smith. Will he keep it in? No, he won't. And Coventry United awarded the throw. Here's Jamie Coleman, the stand-in skipper today. Chris Cox, of course, suspended until the final game of the season away at Boldmere in 2 weeks. Glasgow to Musa. And Mooden tries to put it through the legs of Hartley. He gets a pass him at the second time of asking. He's got Hammond to his right. And a good challenge made by Dara Butlin. Mood him to take the throw in. Plays 1-2 with Unduna. Good first touch. Cross put in towards the penalty area. Easily cleared. Hammond keeps it alive. Glasgow. Now Prinzel United looking to build once again. Prinzel flicked up by Unduna. Prinzel tries to bring it down, but it's hooked away by Freddie Watts. Dan Smith. A little push from behind by Jamie Coleman. Referee says no. Put it forward by Liam Smith. And picked up on the right by Nathan Jones. Can he get the cross in? He's waiting for options in the centre. Valence able to get the ball back. Up line to Josh O'Grady. Just about keeps it in. Dodges one challenge. Can't dodge another though. And it's well won back by Jones. Tividale holding their own here. Jones. Back into defence. We have Tom Herdman, the fullback. Freddie Watts. Across to Bustin at left back. Flicks it up and that Hammond nearly caught him out and just about cleared by Watts. Ison tries to force the ball into the corner. And Dan Smith tries to win the ball back, but he's put it out of throw for a Coventry United throw right in the corner. Ison wanted a free kick there. He didn't get it. And a rather dangerous ball played there by Jamie Coleman. But luckily, United weren't caught out. Ison played the ball to Coleman in his own penalty area. Coleman tried the return ball, but there were two Tividale players in the vicinity and they very nearly won it back. They certainly got a touch on the ball, but luckily Rich Morris was there. So you pick up the pieces. Here is Ison, who has made a real splash this season after signing from the Strachan Academy. Here's another youngster in Scott Hammond down the right wing to Pierre Moodham. Hammond usually plays on the left, but he's playing on the right today with Josh O'Grady on the left wing, and a infringement by Bustin on Pierre Moodham gives Red and Greens a free kick on the right hand side of the penalty area, level with the box. This is a real chance for United to get their first meaningful opportunity of the game, and who do you think's going to take it? Mr. Set Piece himself, Josh O'Grady. Finds Hammond. Hammond races into the area. Brought down by Liam Smith. Referee says no. It was a strong challenge. But Coleman will put it forward once again for Coventry United, but the ball is wayward and it drifts out of play. And Hartley will lead this one for Bustin, the left back. And the referee is halting play, and that's Rob Prinzel holding his chest. And the last thing United needs is another injury. They've only got enough players to make a three-man bench today. One of those players is the goalkeeper. Throwing taken, won back by Ison. Glasgow finds Jamie Coleman at centre-back. Good defensive work by Coventry United. Prinzel seems okay. He's running like the roadrunner to get to that ball. Sadly, the pass was about as accurate as a roadrunner's, so that's gone out for a throw just over the top of the home dugout. As Herdman gets set to take this throw in. Up line, Jones heads it up. Coleman battles for the ball and an infringement on Harvey Walker by Coleman. Lines were saying that Coleman jumped on the back of the Dale number 10. And well, less than a minute ago it was a United set piece. Now it's Tividale with an opportunity in virtually the same area of the pitch. Just a few yards down line. Swing towards Dan Smith and caught well by Rich Morris. And Morris quickly releases the ball to Scott Hammond on the right-hand side. Battles for the ball with Elliot Hartley. And he's made contact with Hartley there. Both men battling for the ball. And Hammond seemingly with a little push in the back of Elliot Hartley. It's a Dale free kick just inside their own half. It's very difficult to see the pitch markings here at the Beaches. They're very faint. As we said earlier, the pitch slants upwards towards the far side of the ground, a rather big gradient. Head towards goal, it's a free kick anyway. As Dan Smith got the header, but it was a little push in the back of a United man. Well, Morris has actually rolled it, and Morris is already holding his thumb. That is not good news for Coventry United. They've got the ball. Glasgow. Good challenge made in the midfield. Dan Smith. They try the return ball to Carl Gardner, but Musa intercepts. Now it's Hammond. Puts it through beautifully for Muzzy Nduna if he can cut in from the right-hand side. It's still Nduna, blocked up by two Dale defenders, and a good side challenge made by Dara Bustin to put it out for a Coventry United throw adjacent to the penalty area. A real chance for the red and greens here. 10 minutes gone. It remains at Tividale 0, Coventry United 0. It's going to be the long throw specialist, Lewis Ison, the teenage sensation at centre-back. To hoof this one into the area. Waiting in there is Rob Prinzel. Gets a contact on it, but it's not going to trouble Luke Kriskinians, who swiftly deals with that one. Boots it upfield. Looking for Dan Smith. It's got the head of Coleman. It will go for a Tividale throw. Again, in a very similar position to the one that Coventry United had a few seconds ago. It's like we're watching a mirror image at the moment. It's going to be a throw from Tom Herdman towards the near post. Is that handball? He's seen a touchy arm there of Liam Smith. Push on the back of Ben Valens. That will be a free kick to Coventry United. So no chances of note so far after the first 10 minutes. Remains scoreless. And how the people of Coventry could do with one of their teams getting some points today after a heartbreaking day yesterday with the teams, the city's biggest football team, Coventry City, going down to the 4th tier of English football. Local sport fans need something to cheer about. Coventry United, the team to give us that joy that we need at the moment. Ball down line to Dan Smith. Hooked away by Coleman, nodded on by Valens. Glasgow keeps it with Coventry United. Now back into defence with Lewis Ison. Now Rob Prinzel. United seem to be using a 5-man at the back formation, or is Prinzel playing in defensive mid? Long ball forward by Prinzel. It should be easy dealt with by Kriskinians, who came out of his area and gets a contact on it. It's kept in briefly by Elliot Hartley, and it will be a Coventry United throw just inside their own half. On a deceptively bright day. There's a lot of storm clouds around, but it's also pretty damn warm once the sunshine breaks through. And Pierre Moodham is going to take the throw in. Plays a 1-2 Muzzy Nduna. That return ball's a little too powerful. And it's allowed Harvey Walker to put it out of play off the leg of Pierre Moodham. Up line. Gardner. And it's brought down to her by Pierre Moodham. Good work from the Coventry United fullback. Hammond's making the run. It's played into the centre with Tommy Glasgow. He's got a Gray to his left. Finds Josh O'Gray. His path is blocked. Glasgow again. Still Tommy Glasgow. As he strides into the area, it's Tommy Glasgow. Good challenge made. United appealing for a penalty. Unfounded in my opinion. The pass by Glasgow to O'Grady wasn't perfect. Musa tries to keep it alive, but it will go out for a goal kick. I said earlier, it's been a tough 24 hours for me, so it's a Sky Blue. Hopefully a Coventry United fan can, Coventry United win can put a smile back on my face. So I have to wait and see what happens. Of course, if they are going to get a win, it's going to be against Tividale. They are the bottom place team in the league, but they are not to be underestimated. Liam Smith, interception made by Hammond, tries to find Glasgow. It's hooked away, and luckily goes on the top of the stand rather than straight into the camera. That clearance, it will go for a Coventry United throw. Moodim, return ball by Rob Prinzel. Moodim keeps it away from Liam Smith. Glasgow, Coleman, patient build up from Coventry United, not quite working at the moment. O'Grady swiftly switches onto the left hand side towards Valence, but a challenge made by Nathan Jones puts it out off Valence for a Tividale throw in front of the Dale dugout. Dan Smith, heavy first touch, allows Valence to win it back. Glasgow to O'Grady. O'Grady down line looking for Nduna. It's bounced away from Coventry United. It will go out for a throw to the Red and Greens. O'Grady forced him to the centre of midfield, and a clattering challenge from the Tividale defender. It's certainly done O'Grady a little bit of damage. Luckily he seems okay now, and United retain the ball. Prinzel. Icing. Well, Musa is still down, and Prinzel puts it out of play so his teammate can receive some treatment, and he's holding his right ankle. Well, let's hope it's nothing too serious. United already have their fair share of injury problems. Kevin Thornton, Courtney Cameron, they're both out. Chris Cox, of course, suspended until the final day of the season. Kai Williams out for the season with a broken foot. We even thought that Rich Morris would be out for another couple of weeks. He's been called back before time due to the absence of Joe Connor. Well, while we've got a chance, let's have a look at some latest scores. It's a little bit trickier today because unfortunately I ran out of data on my phone, so I've got to keep on looking on the laptop. When you're operating a camera, it's not quite easy. If we get the scores up, well, Gift is receiving a little bit of treatment. He's being helped off the pitch. Of course, one final score to bring you. Spurs beat Bournemouth 4-0. Also, Oldham beat Bolton by 1-0. Leicester beating Crystal Palace 1-0. Stoke 1-0 up at home to Hull. West Ham beating Sunderland 1-0. It's also 1-1 between Villa and Reading. I tell you what, that Hull result, if it does stay the same, is certainly good for me, because I said back in August that I would walk through the city of Coventry in nothing but a tiger print thong if Hull City stayed up. So I'm hoping to God that that doesn't happen. Well, there is going to be an early change. Gift Musa has come off, and coming on is Jean Decory, who has just returned from suspension. So an early change, just 15 minutes in, as Coventry United replace the injured Gift Musa with Jean Decory. Of course, Decory is a like-for-like change in centre mid, but that is really not good news for Coventry United. Another player out due to injury. And Josh O'Grady shoved from behind by Tom Herdman. Free kick Coventry United around 10 yards inside Dale's half. As we are back underway with that short injury layoff, which has seen Gift Musa come off. So that leaves United with just the one change, outfield change left, and that's Ryan Makwanje, the under-21s player. Of course, they've got Jack Tregartha on the pitch as well, but I don't think he'll be playing up front for United this afternoon. Great delivery, easy dealt with by Liam Smith. That's not the best of set pieces, and hooked clear by Elliot Hartley. Dan Smith tries to bring it down, and he's found Hartley. Smith shields the ball well from Valence, but he's overran it, and Glasgow wins it back. Pierre Moodin puts it onto the right-hand side, and chipped out of play, and Moodin has followed through, and it will be a free kick to Tividale. It was going out for a Coventry United throw, but Moodin couldn't stop in time, and it's gone out for a free kick now. Just in front of us. So the score at the Beaches remains at Tividale 0, Coventry United 0. Of course, the Dale without a win in 3 months and 1 day. So if United are going to get back on form, surely it will be here. Of course, taking nothing for granted in football, these lads are not to be underestimated as the delivery is put in towards the far post. Morris comes out for it and catches it, bad form and all. And Morris, rather cheekingly, feigning a throw and feigning a drop as well. I'm not sure whether the 6-second rule is going to come in force. He's eventually released straight onto the head of Elliot Hartley, but luckily for Coventry United, Hartley heads it straight out. And United will regain the ball. And it will be Pierre Moodham to take it as Lewis Ison offers support behind. There goes the throw. Hammond. Ball return ball, and it gives it to Dan Smith. Hartley, will he release a shot here? He tried to wing it to Nathan Jones, but it was cut out by Jamie Coleman. Valance on the left-hand side. Tries to take it around Jones, but lays it back to Josh O'Grady. Coleman, back to O'Grady. Long ball to the right-hand side to Lewis Ison. Good control from the teenage centre-back. Plenty of time to utilise that. He's got Moodham on the right-hand side. Glasgow to the left of him as well. Long ball play forward towards Muzzy and Duna. Tries to play over the defence, and Duna gets a touch on the ball, but is blocked off well by Freddie Watts. And that bounces out of play for a Coventry United throw around the halfway line. So the Red and Greens have got something to build on here. Ison's throw up line towards Scott Hammond. Hammond beaten in the air. Still tries to bring the ball down. Was that a high boot? By Bustin. Referee says no. And, well, now it's Dale appealing for a high boot. Hammond. A bit of a push there by Elliot Hartley. Moodham. Put out a play well by Hartley once again. Right in the corner. It's going to be a throw for Coventry United, not a corner. And it will be, as you expect, the long throw specialist, Lewis Ison. It's about as far in the corner as you can get without it being a corner. Ison's throw, near post towards Rob Prinzel, nodded on. It's gone back to Rob Prinzel and blocked at the near post. And caught by Luke Kriskinians. Probably the best chance that we've seen throughout this entire game. 20 minutes gone, remains at Tividale 0, Coventry United 0. It's certainly not been the classic we were hoping for after the awful events of yesterday. Nathan Jones. Ball juggling there from Dan Smith. High boot call from Coventry United. They've still got the ball. Well, now the referee's called for the free kick as they were boxed in on the left-hand side. So it will be a red and green ball. Free kick taken quickly by Josh O'Grady. Bounces towards the right-hand side where Scott Hammond is waiting. Pushing the back there by Bustin. Doesn't put Hammond off. And the young midfielder still with the ball. Now he's released it to Moodham. Back to Hammond. Space in the area. It's Scott Hammond and a good catch. The first save that either keeper has had to make so far. We've had to wait 21 minutes for it. Strong effort by Scott Hammond. Not quite as accurate as you would have hoped. Straight into the grateful gloves of Luke Kriskinians. And it's gone all the way over to Rich Morris and the Coventry United goal. He's quickly released it to Coleman. Now Glasgow. Jean Decory off from the bench for the injured Gift Musa. Onto the right with Pierre Moodham now. Up line once again to Scott Hammond. Tries to take it around Bustin. Moodham. Forward once again to Nduna. Not the most accurate of passes. Swerved a little bit. We've still found Nduna. Nduna tried to find O'Grady on the left-hand side. Sadly, that pass wasn't what was needed. And Tividale have got it back. Only for a short period, though, as Glasgow's got it in midfield. Now it's Muzzy and Nduna. Back to goal. Prinzel, lob ball towards Scott Hammond. It's found him on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Opportunity to either cross the ball or try and cut in. He's found Tommy Glasgow on the edge of the box. Play to Pierre Moodham. Hammond once again on the right wing. Try to find Glasgow, but it's deflected out of play by Craig Stevens. And a throw into Coventry United. It's taken quickly. Glasgow, Prinzel. Glasgow in the area. Beaten to the ball by Watts. Prinzel tries to win it back from Hartley. And he shoved Harvey Walker to the floor. And it's a free kick to Tividale on the halfway line. came in from the side, forces number 10 to the floor. Referee perfectly entitled to give that one. So we have entered the final 2 weeks of the Midland League Premier Division season. 2 weeks' time it will be all said and done as the free kick goes over. Everyone on that for a goal kick. So just 4 matches left for Coventry United, including this one. So it's Tividale today. Monday we see the final match at Spinks Drive as Coventry United host Loughborough Students, who still aren't safe from relegation. So a big game for the students. Then it's a trip to AFC Wolverinians next Saturday, and we round things off with an away game against Boldmere St Michael's in 2 weeks' time. And Duna with space on the right-hand side. Tries to weave his way through the Tividale challenges. He couldn't get past Watts, who's put it out for a Coventry United throw right in the corner. In fact, now it's been given as a Tividale throw. Didn't see it come off the leg of Nduna, but the referee obviously saw something that I didn't. Throw-in taken. Good control by Gardner. Keeps it away from Hammond, but Hammond with a little shove in the back there. He's got the ball. Hammond cuts in. Tries to find Glasgow, but he's just overran it. And the long ball forward towards Dan Smith will go over the defence and straight into the penalty area where Rich Morris is king. Plays it to Coleman. Oh, a little bit of a faint square there by Jamie Coleman. Falling Dan Smith, and Glasgow very nearly caught out by Smith, the top scorer. Oh, Decory was caught there. Poor control, gives the ball back to Harvey Walker, but Decory has made up for that mistake. Now Nduna. Down line to Hammond. Very few opportunities of note so far. In fact, the strike from Hammond, the only shot on target that we've seen so far. Moodham tries to make his way through 2 Tividale challenges. Bit of help from from Muzzy Nduna. Cuts in towards the far post, towards Glasgow. Bounces up. That's Josh O'Grady. Good strike. Sadly curled a little bit high, a little bit wide. Certainly the best ever that we've seen so far today. Great turn from O'Grady, decent strike. He won't be scoring the 30+ goals this season that he did last time, but we've certainly seen glimpses of the true Josh O'Grady in recent weeks. And sadly he couldn't quite convert that chance, and it remains scoreless after around 25 minutes. Chris Gideon's clearance over the head of Glasgow, bounces over the head of Decory as well. Smith nods it on. Ison hooked it up rather than out. Liam Smith, Walker, Dan Smith. Hartley battles for the ball with Rob Prinzo. O'Grady switched to the right wing now and plays it across to Tommy Glasgow. Luckily, Nathan Jones' touch was poor, and United have got it back after a rather wayward pass. Now Tommy Glasgow. There's a 1-2 with Valance. Well, he tried to. A good side challenge from Nathan Jones. Now Dan Smith, Tividale's top scorer, puts it through on the right-hand side for Nathan Jones. Cross goal maturity. Crucial challenge from Ben Valance. Puts it out for a Dale throw. 20 minutes until half-time here on Coventry United Match Day. Live coverage of Tividale versus Coventry United. Live from the beaches. Herdman's throw towards Smith. Prince nods it straight back into the box, but it's been given as a free kick against Tividale. Prince takes it quickly. Well, the referee says it wasn't in the correct position and calls it back. It's a shame, really, as Josh O'Grady was in a little bit of space on the right-hand side. Could have easily sprinted down that right-hand side. We've seen the sort of movement that Josh O'Grady possesses. As Rich Morris, who again has been rushed back into the team after injury, he is going to take this free kick. There it goes. Towards the head of Rob Prinzel. It's gone over Prinzel and headed away by the Dale defender. Now John Decory picks up the loose ball to the right with Pierre Moodham. Under pressure from Walker. Just able to release the ball in time. Hartley is trying to pressure O'Grady into a mistake. O'Grady squares it to centre-back Jamie Coleman. The stand-in skipper for United in the absence of Chris Cox. Long ball headed away by Watts. Flicked on by Gardner, and as far as Decory in the centre circle. Back to Coleman in defence. Forward ball to Glasgow, good control. To his centre mid partner, John Decory. Crucial challenge made by Dan Smith. into defence with Watts. Nathan Jones beaten in the air by Valance. A bit of a duel between Jones and Valance in this game so far. Very interesting to watch. It's gone out for a throw into the Dale. And 15 yards into United territory. Throw in taken. Looking for Dan Smith. Argent as well to hold him off. It's played to Gardner. Gardner puts it in the area. Hooked up rather than out by Pierre Moodham. And Coleman, with that head full of lead, heads it away. Glasgow. Long ball forward, looking for Muzzy and Duna. He's beaten to it by Dara Bustin, and Watts will clear it. Handball claims against Liam Smith. Referee doesn't want to know, but Nduna brings it back. Now it's Rob Prinzel. Tries the through ball to Josh O'Grady. If he can get there in front of Hartley, he's tripped on the edge of the area. Referee doesn't want to know. There was certainly contact there, but I think Hartley just got enough on the ball. Walker slips. Busting able to keep the ball alive. Long ball onto the right hand side. If Jones can keep this in, it'll be a real chance for Tividale. He makes the slide and keeps it in, but puts it out for a throw to Coventry United. Throwing taken to Glasgow. Volleyed clear. Should be an easy one for Gardner to deal with, and Gardner plays it back into defence with Craig Stevens. Watts under pressure from Nduna, plays it back to Kriskinians. Booted clear. Coleman touches over to Glasgow. Now it's Rob Prinzel. Tried to ball over the defence to Nduna, but it was cut out in the air by Watts. Jones, heavy first touch, but finds Liam Smith. Long ball towards the right-hand side, towards Dan Smith, and put out a play by Jamie Coleman. Good work from the Coventry United skipper. Of course, Chris Cox suspended into the final game of the season at Boldmere St Michael's. Throw taken by Herdman, nodded on by Smith. Coleman gets something on the ball. United able to regain possession. Here's Scott Hammond. Pass charged down by Gardner. That one was charged down too. Coleman beats Smith in the air, puts it out for another Dale throw in a dangerous position. United only keeping Muzzy and Nduna forward in case of a counter-attack. As Josh O'Grady trudges back towards the defensive area. It's going to be a Tom Herdman throw, as we have half an hour at the beaches. Towards Liam Smith, headed up rather than out by Valance. Gardner towards Dan Smith. Well, it was a half clearance by Pierre Moodham, and luckily Moodham was there. Prinzel was there to get it away from Harvey Walker. And Duna's clearly being held there by Herdman, and the referee finally gives the throw. That's one of the most blatant fouls you'll see throughout this entire game. He was blocking him with the arm, pulling his shirt. Nothing else the referee could do there. And now Ben Valance looking to take a free kick. Takes it short to Tommy Glasgow. Glasgow to Hammond. Closed down quickly by Tom Herdman. And he puts it out for a United throw. Prinzel long ball looking for Nduna and headed away by Herdman. Walker got his head to it but was pushed in the back by Rob Prinzel. Bit of a scrappy game, this one. We've got approximately 15 minutes to go until half time. We'll be taking a short break as always on Coventry United match day at half-time to swap over the laptop battery to ensure we can bring you the second half of this match in its entirety. So we'll be taking a very short break on YouTube at half-time. So you'll need to click on the new live event at the start of the second half. Free kick put into the area and easily caught by Rich Morris. Good throw finds Scott Hammond, but Hammond runs straight into Herdman once again. And luckily goes off Herdman for a Coventry United throw. Throwing taken by Valance. Plays a 1-2 with Decory. And Decory caught out by Walker. Now it's Smith. Dan Smith strides through several United challenges. It's still Dan Smith. It's still Dan Smith. And it's well caught by Rich Morris. Luckily he didn't have to aggravate that injured thumb of his. But a save was needed and the save was made. As Nduna gets his body in the way of Liam Smith and wins the ball back for Coventry United. Flicked on by Scott Hammond. Play on given to Coventry United. It's Nduna. Blocked off. And a challenge made by Liam Smith puts it out of play for a Coventry United throw. And the referee is having a word with Muzzy and Nduna here. And in fact, he's actually given a free kick against Coventry United. It looked like it was gone out for a throw to me, but for some reason the referee's given a free kick against Muzzy and Nduna. Only seen it Unduna followed through on a challenge after the clearance by Smith. It remains scoreless. Not the most enthralling of games, I have to admit. But so we certainly saw this game kick into life in the second half last time out in November. Just a 1 goal before half time, 5 in the second half. So we'll soldier on, hope for better things after the break. Jones puts it through, it's gone off the leg of Coleman, and that allowed Ison to get in there and stop Smith's run as the top scorer looked to make an inroad towards goal. Long ball forward, head out of play by Dara Bustin. Gives Coventry United a throw just in front of their fans. Inside Dale's half. 1-2 between Moodham and Prinzel. O'Grady caught by Bustin and hooked away once again by Liam Smith. And that will be a new ball and another throw. Lewis Ison to take this throw in for Coventry United. Ison waits for options. Hooves it forward towards Rob Prinzel. Prinzel nods it on. It's forward to Tommy Glasgow. Fair way out. He swings it back to Lewis Ison. Ison strides forward under pressure from Walker. Deflected pass, puts it out for a Coventry United throw yet again. Virtually the same position as the last one. Josh O'Grady. Back to Ison, under pressure from Hartley, and Hartley puts it out for another throw in once again the exact same position. You're not making any progress here. Ison, long throw, tries to find Unduna, it's not going to find him. Bustin heads it away off the head of Hartley. Oh, and that's a nasty collision there between Smith and Ison. Luckily both players are all right. Coleman across the pitch to Jean Decory, just inside United territory. Now Valance. Decory. Glasgow, United waiting for the right opportunity to pounce. And Hammond does well to shrug Herdman off the ball and give himself some space down that left flank. Into the centre with Glasgow. Tries to find Hammond again. It wasn't the best of passes. Unduna gets to the ball first. And it's taken out. But Rob Prinzel said we want the free kick. And Unduna went down with some force. Well, the referee gave play on. Rob Prinzel booted the ball out so that the referee could check on Muzzy Unduna. And then the referee, I believe, has given a goal kick to Tividale. I mean, surely the advantage should have lasted longer than that. It's all down to the referee's interpretation of the law, but I've got to say, United should and probably do feel hard done by for that decision. So 10 minutes to go until half-time at the Beaches. Still Tividale 0, Coventry United 0 as the sunshine has disappeared behind the black clouds in Wolverhampton. Coleman plays it forward towards Unduna, beaten in the air by Stevens. But Hammond will bring it down for Coventry United and tries to keep it in on that left flank. He's giving it away to Smith. Decory gets his body in front of the ball. Smith runs straight into him and gives away the free kick to Coventry United on that far side. And United take the free kick quickly. Morris to Ison. Glasgow finds Jean Decory. I don't think he was ready for that one, but he's got there just in time ahead of Walker. Glasgow, long ball towards Josh O'Grady. Good chest control. Takes it around Bustin, but Bustin blocked him off and stopped the run. But the clearance by Hartley was a poor one. It gives it straight back to O'Grady into the area. Pierre Moodham across the face of goal. And Pierre Unduna was stopped there. And it's put wide. And it's gone out for a... it's been called as offside. Well, Unduna was certainly pushed there as he tried to divert the ball into an empty net. The follow-up attempt by, I think it was Glasgow, seemed to be blocked. A real scramble in the penalty area, but sadly for the Red and Greens, they couldn't divert it into the net. Just when it looked like the goal was gaping for them. And it remains scoreless as we head towards the break. But that was certainly the best chance of the game. Chris Gideons takes the goal kick. Gardner and Prinzel go for the same ball. It's come to Tommy Glasgow in the centre circle under pressure from behind by Walker. Walker gets the ball away, but a combination of Decory and Glasgow win it back. Glasgow's ball down the left-hand side towards Hammond. It's blocked, but it's still found Unduna. Now it's Rob Prinzel. Chip ball towards the right-hand side. Will it find O'Grady? No, it won't. Hartley takes it around Moodin, but Prinzel blocks off the run and wins the ball back. Now Josh O'Grady. Can he get the cross in? Blocked off by two Dale defenders. He's got Prinzel and Moodin for support. He's found Pierre Moodin in the area. It's Pierre Moodin side netting. But it's taking a touch off. Chris Skinnian's on the way through. And it will be a corner kick. United want to take this one quickly. O'Grady sets up another set piece. There it goes. Punched away by Chris Skinnians, but he's clattered into by Jamie Coleman, who seems to have come off worse for wear from that one. And United have already had one player injured in Gift Musa early on. 15 minutes in, they were forced into a change with Jean Decory replacing the midfielder. So an injury to Coleman is the last thing that Coventry United need, especially with mounting injuries away from this game. Kevin Thornton travelled to the game hoping to play, but his Achilles injury was too severe to don the white shirt today. Courtney Cameron also missing. Joe Connor has got work commitments. Chris Cox suspended. Carl Williams out for the season. I believe a total of 7 players missing for the Red and Greens today through injury, suspension and work commitments. Chris Gideons takes the free kick. Smith nods it on only as far as Rob Prinzel, but Prinzel's forward ball only falls as far as Herdman. Herdman down the right hand side towards Dan Smith and put out of play by the recovered Jamie Coleman. It's taking a touch off Dan Smith. It's gone out for a Coventry United throw. Barnes' throw, up line. Gardner gets there first, but Prinzel nods it on towards Unduna. Prinzel and Gardner both go to ground. No foul given. Prinzel slides in. That's an obvious foul. He slides in, takes the legs out of from beneath Nathan Jones, and it could well be a yellow card. It was a very poor challenge. Quite high as well. And the referee awards the first yellow card of the game to Coventry United's Rob Prinzel. It'll be a free kick just inside United territory to be taken by Tom Herdman, the fullback, I should say. Just 5 minutes of normal time remaining before the break here at the Beaches. Still scoreless between Tividale and Coventry United. Herdman's free kick towards Liam Smith. Oh, it's gone over everyone. Well, Dan Smith was waiting at the far post. He might have been able to get to the ball if he had jumped, but he thought it was going over him. It did go over him. But Rich Morris wasn't able to get anything on that as he rushed out of his goal. But luckily for United, no damage done. It remains at 0-0. And Morris was once again jokingly going to take a quick kick. Ison wasn't quite ready for it. Still busy posing for the camera. Now Morris saying, come on, move up, give me some options. Tries to find Rob Prinzel. A little bit of holding there from Prinzel. He doesn't get the ball, but Decory gets stuck in there and wins it back for Coventry United. Now it's Josh O'Grady. Overlapping run from Pierre Moodham. He's found Moodham. Moodham cuts in. He's got past Bustin, but he couldn't quite get past Hartley, and it will be a goal kick to Tividale. Chris Kinnean sets up another goal kick. There it goes. Smith's going up for this one. Gets his head in it. It's only gone as far as Josh O'Grady. Nods it over Bustin, and Bustin puts it out of play for a Coventry United throw halfway into Dale territory. And with 3 minutes of normal time left, United won't have many more chances before the break, so they could do with taking this one. It's going to be Moodham to take it. Plays a 1-2 with Prinzel. Glasgow flicks it over the head of Gardner, but Gardner gets there. But Glasgow able to get the loose ball. Hammond flicks it over the defence, and Watts just able to get enough contact on it to take it back to Kriskinians between the six. This has certainly not had thriller written all over it. Moodham, poor pass, and it's found Elliot Hartley. Dan Smith puts it through for Hartley. Lewis Ison was sliding in, very dangerous there, but he's just able to keep the ball from Smith. Well, for a moment, as Zakori challenge on Dan Smith. Smith goes to the ground. The referee's given a corner, and Smith is furious. There was certainly contact. I think the referee could have easily given a penalty there. Ison did well to slide in and just about keep the ball away from Smith. Smith eventually got on the end of it, ran through towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Zakori's challenge, didn't get the ball. Corner put in, head towards goal, and Herdman's header goes wide. Goal kick, Coventry United. It remains scoreless with just 1 minute of normal time left. Morris takes the goal kick quickly. Rob Prinzel. Long ball forward looking for Museum United. Trying these long balls, they're just not working. And once again, Craig Stevens gives it back to Luke Kriskinians. The pitch here at the Beaches isn't the best. It's slanting quite badly towards the far side of the pitch. But surely they can keep it on the ground a little bit more than they are doing. Hartley on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Tries to weave his way past Pierre Moodham. Cross put in. It's towards Dan Smith. Crucial touch by Ison. Swing and a miss from Rob Prinzel. Gives the ball back to Dan Smith. And just wide. It's taking a touch on the way through. It will be a corner kick. But Prinzel's there very nearly caught Coventry United out. More defensive and goalkeeping errors ravaged Coventry United last time out against St Andrews. I hope there won't be a repeat performance here at the Beaches as Nathan Jones lines up this corner kick. Dan Smith goes for it, but it's headed away. For now, Stevens. Ball back into the area, punch clear by Rich Morris. And O'Grady picks up the pieces and tries to keep it away from Hartley. He just wants to shield the ball from the number 11. But Ison's pass, it was a poor one, but luckily for Coventry United, Hartley couldn't control it, and it's gone out for a United throw. Long ball forward by Ison towards Unduno. It's gone over the head of the United front man. Stevens deals with it. Jones. Brutal nuts it on as far as Gardner. Now it's Hartley. Decory makes the interception. Now it's Josh O'Grady. We are into added time. So this should be the last chance of the game. Jean Decory, crossing opportunity. Easily dealt with at the near post and put out of play by Freddie Watts. One last chance before the whistle for Coventry United. As Josh O'Grady gets set to whip it in from the right. There it goes. And Duna gets ahead in it. It's back in by Rob Prinzel. It's hit the crossbar and gone out. And that should be the end of the first half action. As Kriskinians lines up this goal kick. Referee checks his watch again. We've had 1 minute. 2 minutes now of added time. It's gone over the head of Rob Prinzel. Now it's Ison's. Coventry United look to run the clock down. Ison's to Glasgow. And the referee calls time on a, I wouldn't say boring first half, but certainly not as productive as many of us would have hoped. Very few opportunities on goal. The last 5 minutes or so really did start to pick up with opportunities for Rob Prinzel and Dan Smith. But so far, it remains scoreless at the Beaches. Tividale 0, Coventry United 0 at half-time. We're going to go into a short break now on Coventry United match day to swap over the laptop battery to ensure we can bring you the second half of this match in its entirety. So do not go anywhere. We will be back in 5 minutes' time.